Jason Todd, the Red Hood, doesn't just use guns and anger to get the job done. He's one of the most dangerous hand-to-hand combatants in the DC universe. Today we're diving deep into why Red Hood would defeat the Winter Soldier in a straight-up fight. This isn't just fan talk. I'm not delusional. It's backed by Feats, statements, and just pure logic. Let's start with the biggest advantage, Jason's combat skill. In comic Batman and Urban Legends number 6, Batman flat out says Jason's the best fighter among us, including Nightwing, who was raised by Batman and trained by the world's greatest acrobats, Tim Drake, who's a tactical genius, Damian Wayne, who was trained by the League of Assassins from birth. That means Jason isn't just good, he's elite. And if Batman, someone who's dodged Darkseid's Omega beams, says Jason's better, that carries serious weight, because he's also talking about himself. He's saying Jason is a better fighter than even him. That means combat skill, combat speed, technique, instincts, all factor in, and Jason excels in each. Jason just doesn't rely on skill alone. In Red Hood and Outlaws, it's revealed that he uses a refined strain of Venom, the same super steroid that powers Bane, but Jason's version gives him enhanced strength, durability, and stamina without the mental instability or addiction. That means he can go toe-to-toe with metahumans while staying sharp. This closes or even flips the physical strength gap between him and Bucky Barnes, one of Jason's most overlooked feats. So overlooked. Comes from Supergirl number 36, 2019. In this issue, Jason breaks out of Supergirl's grip. Now, to be fair, she wasn't using her full Kryptonian strength, but she was using an adequate amount of force that she thinks would be able to restrain someone of his caliber. She knows his history, he's trained by Batman, she knows all of that. Still, she considered him dangerous also, so the fact that she couldn't restrain him says something. For Jason to power out of that shows superhuman strength and willpower, especially given Kara's baseline power dwarfs most Earth-based heroes. This puts Jason in a higher physical tier than most street-level fighters, including Bucky. Now, experience, this is where it gets complicated. People always say it's outright Bucky, which if you just factor in time and, then yes, I guess you could say that. But experience, Bucky Barnes has been fighting since World War II. He's had decades of training from elite military combat to spycraft and tactical warfare. But there's an important distinction here. Bucky was trained to follow orders. Much of his combat experience is reactive and conditioned, shaped by Hydra's programming and missions. Jason Todd's journey is completely different. After dying and being resurrected in the Lazarus Pit, Jason sought out training from the League of Assassins, Ra's al Ghul, and other global killers. He wasn't molded by an organization, he rebuilt himself from scratch through pain, loss, and obsession. He's trained with Batman, a master of 120 martial arts. 127. My bad. 127 martial arts. The League of Assassins, Ra's al Ghul, someone who's basically immortal. He sparred with Nightwing, Tim Drake, and Deathstroke. Well, in some runs he spars with Deathstroke. He's even adapted his own street fighting style that blends strategy, brutality, and versatility. And let's not forget, Batman trained for over a decade across the road to become who he is. And yet, he says Jason surpassed him in fighting ability. That means Jason has taken a foundation Bruce laid and perfected it into something more dangerous. Bucky might have years, but Jason still has refined skill, adaptability, and a focus on growth through trauma and challenge. That's more dangerous than time served. Now I'll give credit where credit is due. Bucky has his own impressive record. He's ripping through metal doors with his cybernetic arm, going toe-to-toe to Captain America, another super soldier, defeating Wolverine in Winter Soldier Cold Front with skill and tactics, years of black ops and stealth, elite marksmanship, and close quarters combat. He's no slouch. In fact, against most street level fighters, he wins. But Red Hood's arsenal and skill outclass Bucky in almost every category. Both characters are tactical geniuses, but Jason has the edge in chaotic adaptability. He was trained by Batman in stealth, misdirection, psychological warfare, but unlike Bruce, his moral code is very thin. He's willing to kill. That changes the way he fights. Jason goes for crippling shots, traps, and brutal finishes. And with access to Wayne Tech modified weapons and Venom, his toolkit is very dangerous. More dangerous than Bucky's standard loadout. Here's a full breakdown. I'd say skill goes to Jason. Because to be honest, Jason's a better fighter than Batman, correct? So let's do this. We know Bucky's not beating Batman. He's not beating Batman. So that's how I went down. He's not beating Batman. So skill goes to Jason. Strength, including Venom, with Venom, Jason. Without Venom, it's a Winter Soldier, hands down. Speed and reactions, Jason, obviously. Gear and arsenal, Jason. Experience, it's Bucky, but Jason's optimized and focused growth gives him the edge in execution. Mindset, I definitely give it to Jason. His mindset is way more unpredictable and aggressive and emotionally driven. In a fight, to the death, that matters. Bucky is a soldier. Jason is a one-man army. In a straight-up fight, I'd say Red Hood wins 7 out of 10 times. Especially with prep or environment on his side. Like, 7 out of 10 times. That seems good. But I may be wrong. I haven't read all the Winter Soldier comics. I read most of the Red Hood comics, but I might be wrong. I haven't read everything recently, but I've read it over time, so I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments. You feel me? Don't be dicks, but let me know in the comments. So what do you think? Is Jason truly better than Bucky? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, don't forget to sub, like, and hit that bell. This is CJ. I'm gonna catch y'all later.